After the Tournament of Power, Earth had regained its tranquility. Goku and his friends were celebrating the victory. The universe was safe, and everything seemed to have returned to normal. But not everything was as simple as it seemed. Amidst laughter and festivities, a dark conspiracy was beginning to form in the shadows, a betrayal that would forever change Goku's life. Bulma had organized a grand party at the Capsule Corporation to celebrate the triumph of the Z-Fighters. The place was full of life, music, and food. While everyone enjoyed the moment, Goku, as always, was devouring enormous plates of food without even taking a break to breathe. Vegeta watched him from a corner with his classic frown. Although this time his gaze had a different undertone, something Goku didn't perceive. Gohan was also there with his wife Videl and Pan, laughing and sharing moments as a family. Piccolo, Krillin, Android 18, and everyone else seemed to enjoy the atmosphere, but beneath their smiles, something dark was brewing. Only a few knew the truth of what was about to happen, a truth that would break the bonds of friendship and trust that Goku had built over the years. Bulma, who had always been a loyal friend to Goku, had been in contact with Vegeta and some of the other warriors about a secret plan. In her laboratory, she had worked over the last few months to perfect a technology capable of containing Goku, fearing that his power would grow to uncontrollable levels. Ultra Instinct, while impressive, was something that not even the gods could fully comprehend. And the fear of what Goku might become frightened even the most powerful. The conversation had begun months earlier, right after the battle against Jiren. Vegeta had been the first to express his concerns to Bulma. Kakarot is going too far. His power no longer has limits, and we don't know if someday he will completely lose control. If that happens, there will be no one capable of stopping him. Not even me, he had said with a tone of bitterness in his voice. Bulma, though initially hesitant, began to understand the gravity of the situation. She knew Goku would never intentionally cause harm, but the power he had demonstrated in the Tournament of Power was something beyond human comprehension. Even Beerus and Whis had mentioned how dangerous it would be if Goku lost control of his new ability. That is how the plan was born. Bulma, along with Vegeta and the others, devised a deception. They needed to find a way to contain Goku, to stop his uncontrollable growth, at least until they could better understand Ultra Instinct. And the only way to do that was to betray him, locking him in a place from which he could not escape. The day of the betrayal arrived without Goku suspecting anything. Bulma had prepared a perfect excuse. She needed Goku to help her with an experiment in the hyperbolic time chamber. She had told him that with his help, they could improve the chamber's technology and make it more useful for future training sessions.
Goku, always ready to help his friends, accepted without hesitation. When he arrived at the hyperbolic time chamber, Gohan and Piccolo were already there. The idea was simple: distract Goku long enough to lock him up without him realizing it. Whis and Beerus were also aware of the plan, although they decided not to intervene directly. Whis, in particular, had shown interest in seeing how far Goku would go with this challenge, knowing that the Saiyan could overcome any obstacle, even one as cruel as the one his own friends were about to impose on him. "What is all this?" Goku asked with his typical curious expression, looking around the room. "Are we going to train here again?" Piccolo was the first to speak, trying to remain calm. "Not exactly, Goku. Bulma has something to show you, something that could help you improve even further." Vegeta, with his arms crossed, remained silent, but his eyes could not hide the tension he felt. He had agreed to the plan, but seeing his rival so unsuspecting made him feel uneasy. Although he wouldn't admit it, there was a measure of admiration and respect for Goku that made him hesitate, but it was too late to back down. Suddenly, the air inside the hyperbolic time chamber began to change. Bulma, from the outside, activated the mechanisms that had been secretly installed. The doors of the room began to close slowly, sealing Goku inside. At first, he didn't realize what was happening, but when he saw the expression on his friends' faces, something clicked in his mind. "Hey guys, what's going on?" Goku asked with a mixture of confusion and worry. Vegeta, unable to look his friend directly, turned his back. Gohan, visibly affected, tried to avoid eye contact, but his father's words pierced him like daggers. "Dad, it's for your own good. You have to understand it." "For my own good?" Goku took a step forward, but it was too late. The doors of the hyperbolic time chamber closed completely, sealing Goku inside. Goku pounded on the doors with his fist, trying to open them, but it was useless. The technology Bulma had developed had been specifically designed to keep even someone of his level locked up. From outside, Bulma watched the scene with a mixture of guilt and determination. "I'm sorry, Goku," she whispered to herself, knowing Goku couldn't hear her. "This is for the best for everyone." With Goku finally locked up, the Z-Fighters returned to the outside. Bulma organized a small private celebration where only those involved in the plan were invited. Although the party seemed like a normal celebration, it was actually a celebration of their success in sealing Goku inside the hyperbolic time chamber for 1 Earth year, an amount of time that equated to 5 years of training inside the room. However, they also made a wish to Shenron to ensure Goku would not age due to the consequences of time while he was locked up. The wish for temporary immortality was granted, ensuring that Goku would remain strong and at his peak until the moment of his release. But what they didn't know was that they had unleashed something much more powerful than they could imagine. Inside the hyperbolic time chamber, the days passed like years for Goku. At first, loneliness consumed him. He had tried to reason with the betrayal, but every time he closed his eyes, the images of his friends celebrating his confinement became more vivid. Weeks passed, and Goku trained tirelessly, pushing his body to the limit. But something was different. This time, he wasn't just training to be stronger, but also preparing himself mentally. Every blow, every movement flowed with brutal precision, as if his body was in perfect sync with his mind. Months had passed inside the chamber, and Goku finally began to completely master Ultra Instinct.
It was no longer just a last resort transformation, it was something natural, part of him. But he still felt like he was missing something. A new stage of power that not even Whis or Beerus could foresee. While training, Goku had an epiphany. Ultra Instinct was not the end of his evolution. It was only a stage. He was beginning to develop a fusion between the power of Ultra Instinct and his own Saiyan Ki. Something that could surpass all his previous limits. On one of those lonely nights in the hyperbolic time chamber, while resting after a grueling day of training, Goku began to reflect on what had happened. He remembered Vegeta's, Gohan's, and the others' words. Had they really betrayed him out of fear? Or was there something more behind it all? He felt like the pieces didn't fit. Then, in the middle of his thoughts, something strange happened. The door of the hyperbolic time chamber, which should never open without the permission of a god, began to vibrate. A crack appeared in the dimension's wall. Goku quickly got up. Alert! What's going on here? He thought. Suddenly, a figure appeared through the dimension's cracks. It was a face he didn't expect to see in that place. Zamasu. But it wasn't the Zamasu he had known before. It was a twisted, darker version. So this is where you hide, Goku, Zamasu said with a cold smile. I thought you had given up, but it seems you still have some spirit left. Goku frowned. Zamasu, but we defeated you. You shouldn't be here. Zamasu laughed with a look of contempt. Oh, Goku, always so naive.
Destruction is not the end for beings like me. I have found a way to return. And while you rot here, I have been strengthening my own power. But don't worry, I didn't come to fight. Yet. Goku stood guard, although he felt no immediate threat from Zamasu. "What do you want?" Goku asked, remaining calm. Zamasu looked at him with disdain. "I came to observe. I want to see how you consume yourself in your own despair, Goku. I want to see how far you will go for revenge, because that is what you have been cultivating here, isn't it? Revenge." Goku didn't answer immediately. Zamasu is right in part, but Goku was not going to let himself be carried away by hate. "I am not like you, Zamasu. I will not be consumed by revenge." Zamasu raised an eyebrow, intrigued. "Are you sure? After what your friends did to you, you still think you can forgive them?" Goku closed his eyes for a moment, remembering Gohan, Vegeta, and the others. They had done the unthinkable, but he was still Goku. He wasn't going to lose himself to his emotions. Zamasu disappeared as quickly as he had arrived, leaving Goku with more questions than answers. However, this encounter only strengthened his resolve. He knew something more was at stake, and he couldn't allow himself to be consumed by darkness. From that moment on, his training focused not only on physical power, but also on mental and emotional control. More years passed in the hyperbolic time chamber. Goku's physical appearance had slightly changed. His hair was longer, and his body radiated a completely different energy. Every movement he made was perfectly calculated. And the Ultra Instinct aura, which was once almost uncontrollable, now flowed around him like a second skin. But there was something more. A new transformation that Goku was about to reach, a fusion of his own power with the divine energy he had developed in the recent years. On Earth, the agreed-upon time for Goku to leave the hyperbolic time chamber had passed. The door began to open slowly. Goku walked towards the exit. His expression was calm, but his eyes showed implacable determination. Outside, the world had changed. 1 year had passed in the outside world, but for Goku, it was 5 long years of training, reflection, and preparation. Meanwhile, on Earth, Bulma had organized a party. The plan to lock Goku in the hyperbolic time chamber had been a success, and the rest of the warriors was celebrating their victory. Gohan and Vegeta, although participating, couldn't help but feel a burden on their consciences. They knew what they had done was necessary, but they couldn't help but wonder what would happen when Goku finally returned. "Dad, will he be able to forgive us?" Gohan wondered as he watched the celebration. Whis and Beerus were also present, though not actively participating in the party. "This won't end well, Lord Beerus," Whis commented quietly. Beerus nodded, knowing that Goku's return would bring unpredictable consequences. And finally, it happened. The sky suddenly darkened, and an overwhelming energy began to fill the air. All the warriors stopped, sensing that familiar yet different presence. Vegeta was the first to realize it. It's Kakarot. But something wasn't right. Goku's energy was much more intense, much darker than they remembered. The portal of the hyperbolic time chamber opened completely, and from it emerged Goku. His hair had returned to its normal color. Vegeta swallowed, knowing that what was coming would not be easy. Gohan, for his part, felt a knot in his stomach. His father had returned, but he wasn't the same. Goku walked toward them with a serious expression on his face. The party immediately stopped, and everyone present fell silent, watching with fear and anticipation. Goku didn't say anything at first. He simply looked at everyone, one by one. Then he finally spoke. "So this is what you did while I was trapped." His voice was cold, and every word weighed like a heavy stone. Gohan stepped forward with tears in his eyes. "It was for us," he tried to say,
But Goku interrupted him with a wave of his hand. Don't explain anything, Gohan. It no longer matters. The tension was unbearable. Vegeta also stepped forward, ready to fight if necessary. Kakarot, we won't let you destroy everything we built. Goku looked at him with a mixture of sadness and contempt. Vegeta, I'm not the same anymore, and neither are you. Just at that moment, before the situation could explode, a familiar laugh resonated in the air. It was Frieza. He had been waiting for this moment, and now that Goku was back, the game was finally beginning. Goku, still silent, sensed the presence before he could see it. Frieza's chilling laugh echoed in the air like an ominous sound, and at that moment, everything froze. The sky darkened even more, and a cold breeze swept the place. Vegeta and Gohan tensed instantly, and even Beerus, who until then had watched calmly, narrowed his eyes. Whis observed with his usual tranquility, but deep down, he knew that Frieza's arrival was not a simple coincidence, not after what had just happened. So, you finally decided to come back, Goku? A mocking voice said, as a figure emerged from the shadows. It was him, Frieza. His presence had become even more oppressive since the last time they faced him, radiating palpable malice. His transformation had reached a new level since the last battle, and his dark aura was a clear indication of his danger. I've been waiting for this moment, you know, Frieza continued with a sarcastic smile, crossing his arms across his chest. I always knew your little betrayal would bring something interesting. Goku barely looked at him, his eyes still fixed on his former friends. It wasn't fear he felt toward Frieza, but a mixture of indifference and annoyance. Frieza, you always arrive at the worst possible time. His voice was low, but full of contained strength. Goku was not surprised that the Emperor of Evil was here, not after everything that had happened. Frieza burst out laughing as if Goku's comment was the funniest thing he had heard in years. Oh, Goku, do you really think I came for you? No, I came for this. Frieza pointed at Vegeta and Gohan with a malicious smile. They are the ones who interest me. How does it feel to be betrayed by those you trusted the most? I must say, it's fascinating. Gohan stepped forward with a frown and clenched fists. Frieza, you have no idea what you're talking about. This isn't what you think. But Frieza just looked at him with disdain. It's not what I think? Oh, come on, Gohan. Don't treat me like an idiot. You and your friends did what you had to do, right? You sent the strongest warrior on your side into a dimensional hole without remorse, and now you expect him to forgive you? Goku finally shifted his gaze from Vegeta and Gohan and focused on Frieza. His aura began to intensify, and a violent wind started to swirl around him. Frieza, this has nothing to do with you. Don't interfere. The calm of Goku, that serenity he had perfected during the long years in the hyperbolic time chamber, was about to shatter.
Frieza, however, was not intimidated. In fact, he seemed more excited than ever. Oh, but it has everything to do with me, Goku. You see, while you were locked up, I didn't sit idly by. Not only did I become stronger, but I discovered some secrets, things that neither you nor your dear friends could have imagined. With a wave of his hand, Frieza's body was enveloped in a black and gold aura, a dark energy that pulsed with an evil power. Impressed, Vegeta snarled, his hands trembling as he tried to contain his anger. Damn it, don't think we'll let you do as you please. But Goku, calmer than ever, raised his hand, stopping Vegeta. No, Vegeta, this fight is mine. The Saiyan warrior stepped forward, his gaze fixed on Frieza. The ground trembled slightly beneath his power, but Goku had not yet released his full potential. Frieza smiled confidently.
Oh, are you going to face me with that same old attitude, Goku? I warn you, things have changed. I am not the same Frieza as before. Goku closed his eyes for a moment, remembering the times he had forgiven Frieza in the past, but this time there was no room for mercy. He opened his eyes again, and his Ultra Instinct aura began to expand gradually, mixing with something more, something he had been repressing until now. You're right, Frieza. Things have changed. I have changed too. Goku's aura not only shone with the serenity of Ultra Instinct, but was now imbued with a dark, fierce energy, a mixture that not even he fully understood. This new form, born from isolation and betrayal, was unlike anything he had ever experienced. Frieza raised an eyebrow, intrigued but still confident in his power. "Come on, Goku," Frieza said, spreading his arms as if inviting him to attack. "Show me how much you have changed." In an instant, Goku disappeared. His speed was such that not even Frieza could follow him. He reappeared behind Frieza, and before Frieza could react, Goku delivered a devastating blow to his back, sending him flying against the ground. The impact was so hard that the ground shattered into pieces. Frieza, stunned by Goku's speed and power, barely managed to react before another blow struck him, this time in the stomach. Blood splattered into the air as Frieza groaned in pain, but his smile didn't fade. "So, you finally decide to fight seriously?" he muttered through gritted teeth. Goku, however, showed no compassion. There was no time for games. He lunged back toward Frieza. His attacks were precise, relentless. Frieza defended himself as best he could, but it was clear that the difference between them was overwhelming. Every one of Goku's strikes was like a sledgehammer. Frieza staggered, unable to stand firm against the Saiyan's fury. Vegeta and Gohan watched from a distance, stunned. They had never seen Goku fight this way. It wasn't just a matter of power, it was something more. There was a contained rage in every movement, a determination that made him even more dangerous. "Dad has changed," Gohan whispered, almost unable to believe what he was seeing. However, as Goku continued his assault, something in Frieza shifted. Despite being overpowered, his smile did not disappear. In fact, he seemed to be enjoying the fight. "Perfect, Goku. Exactly what I wanted to see. This is the true power you've been holding back." And then, in a surprising move, Frieza released a colossal amount of energy, pushing Goku back. Frieza slowly stood up, his body covered in wounds, but his dark aura was stronger than ever. "Don't underestimate me, Goku. I'm not done yet." With a sadistic smile, he began to gather a colossal amount of energy in his hands. "This ends now," he said, launching an enormous energy ball directly toward Goku. Goku remained still for a moment, watching the energy approach, but in the last second, with superhuman speed, he dodged the attack and appeared right in front of Frieza. "No, Frieza, this ends now." And with a deafening shout, he unleashed his new power. Goku's aura exploded in a combination of Ultra Instinct and his new dark energy, creating a shockwave that shook everything around him. Frieza, despite his strength, could not withstand the impact. Goku delivered one final attack, a devastating blow that tore through Frieza's defenses and left him completely defeated. Frieza fell to the ground, motionless, his body exhausted and lacking the strength to continue. Goku, panting from the effort, looked at him for a moment, but felt no satisfaction, only emptiness. Goku watched Black Frieza's body lying on the ground, his breathing ragged from accumulated fatigue. The bursts of energy that had once enveloped both warriors began to slowly fade, leaving the battlefield in an unsettling silence. Goku had defeated one of his greatest enemies, but the victory did not feel like a triumph. Something within him was still broken, something that neither his new form nor the mastery of Ultra Instinct could heal.
The betrayal of his friends weighed like an impossible burden to bear. The atmosphere was tense, and neither Vegeta nor Gohan dared to move. The intensity of the battle had been such that no one could foresee what would happen next. Had Goku truly forgiven them? Or was the fury within him still waiting for another enemy, another traitor? Suddenly, Goku turned his gaze toward Vegeta and Gohan. The calm in his eyes did not signify peace. There was an unsettling coldness. Vegeta, accustomed to Saiyan rage, took a surprised step back at Goku's seriousness. This was not the Goku he knew. This was someone transformed. Someone who had transcended even his own emotions. Gohan swallowed, not daring to speak. He knew his father was compassionate, but something in the air made him doubt if that compassion still existed. "Dad," he murmured quietly, but Goku did not respond immediately. Instead, he closed his eyes for a moment, as if processing everything that had happened. When he opened them again, his gaze held no trace of the doubt or forgiveness that had always characterized him before. "Did you really think this was going to end without consequences? My own friends betrayed me, my family, and all for what? To lock me up and prevent me from becoming stronger?" His gaze fixed on Gohan, then on Vegeta. "You thought you could control me, that I would be your problem and not the solution?" Vegeta, his Saiyan pride intact despite everything, clenched his fists. "Goku, you don't understand. We did it because we believed it was for the best. If you continued down that path, you would have endangered everyone, including yourself." But Goku didn't listen. The betrayal, the pain of being abandoned by those he cared most, weighed more than any explanation. "That is no excuse, Vegeta," Goku said in an implacable tone. "You decided for me. You decided that I wasn't strong enough to handle my power, so you locked me up. You betrayed me, and now you want me to simply forget it?" The tension was palpable. Gohan wanted to intervene, wanted to explain himself, but the words wouldn't come out. He knew anything he said would be insufficient, that he couldn't justify what they had done. "Dad, please!" But before he could continue, Goku raised a hand. "Silence!" With a simple gesture, Goku said, his voice even colder than before, "Make no mistake, what you did cannot be erased. The years I spent in the hyperbolic time chamber thinking about why you abandoned me were not wasted time. I became stronger, more than you could imagine, but I also realized something else. I no longer need to depend on you." The declaration hit his former friends like a hammer. Vegeta, furious, advanced with a shout of rage. "Damn you, Goku! We didn't want this!" Vegeta charged at him, his energy strongly erupting, but Goku stopped him with an ease he had never shown before. In a blink, he disappeared from Vegeta's sight, reappearing at his side and knocking him down with a sharp blow to the stomach that left him breathless. "Vegeta, you have always been my rival. You have always wanted to surpass me, and now you can't even face me?" Vegeta fell to his knees, coughing as he tried to catch his breath. He knew Goku was above him now, not just in power, but in a strength that transcended the physical. Gohan desperately yelled, "Dad, don't do this! We are not your enemies!" But Goku barely looked at him. "Gohan, you were the one who disappointed me the most. I always thought you would understand, that you would see what it means to be a Saiyan, what it means to fight to protect what you love most. But you decided it was easier to betray me." Silence fell upon everyone. Goku did not attack Gohan, but his words were more painful than any blow. Gohan lowered his gaze, feeling helpless as Goku slowly approached him. "Don't give me explanations, I don't want to hear them. There is only one thing I want you to understand." Goku raised his hand,
and a bright sphere of energy began to form in his palm. The energy pulsed with a bluish light, a clear sign that Goku was ready to end everything. The ground began to tremble, and the air filled with a strange energy.
Goku looked up, surprised by what he was feeling. It wasn't Frieza. It wasn't a known enemy. It was something different. From the shadows, a figure slowly emerged, walking with overwhelming confidence. It was someone Goku hadn't seen in a long time, someone he never would have expected at this crucial moment.
So you plan to destroy everything you once cared about, Goku?
The voice was deep, dark, and resonated with an ominous echo. Goku's heart skipped a beat as he recognized the figure, Zamasu. There he was, floating a few feet in front of him, enveloped in that dark, divine energy that seemed to warp the air around him. Goku narrowed his eyes, trying to understand how it was possible that Zamasu was there, alive, after ZENO had completely erased him. The purple glow surrounding Zamasu radiated a sense of immortality, of being beyond time and space. How is it possible that you are still alive? I thought you had been completely erased, Goku said, his voice filled with disbelief. Despite his training in the hyperbolic time chamber, nothing had prepared him for this unexpected encounter.
Zamasu smiled with disdain.
His figure remained still, his icy gaze fixed on Goku.
You, divine justice, cannot be erased by a mere mortal, not even by ZENO. My essence is eternal, Goku. I have waited for the precise moment to return. And now that you are here, in this state of fury and confusion, it is the perfect time.
Goku's mind raced, trying to process everything that was happening. But before he could delve into his thoughts, Zamasu continued speaking, his tone full of arrogance.
You believed all this is a coincidence? Your confinement, your friend's betrayal, the chaos that has been unleashed since you left the hyperbolic time chamber, it has all been part of a much larger plan, Goku.
What are you saying? Goku asked, clenching his fists tightly. The silver aura of Ultra Instinct began to surge slowly around his body, a reflection of his growing tension. Zamasu took a step forward, his smile widening.
You believed your friends acted of their own will? No, Goku. I was the one who planted the seeds of distrust. I made them see your power as a threat. I made them fear you, betray you. I guided them to lock you in the hyperbolic time chamber. While you prepared there, I gathered my power in the shadows, awaiting the moment of your return.
Goku felt his heart sink. All this time he had believed his friends betrayed him out of fear or loss of trust. But now, hearing Zamasu's words, he understood that he had been manipulated from the start. You used my friends? You manipulated them? Goku said, his voice charged with contained fury. The betrayal hurt even more now that he knew it hadn't just been an impulsive act, but part of a malicious plan.
Exactly,
Zamasu replied, crossing his arms, completely satisfied with Goku's reaction.
And now that you are here, furious, wanting revenge, it is the perfect moment for you to fall into despair.
Goku closed his eyes for a moment, trying to calm the whirlwind of emotions he felt. He remembered the time he had spent in the hyperbolic time chamber, training tirelessly, but also facing the pain of loneliness and betrayal. He had tried to overcome those feelings, to focus only on getting stronger, but now Zamasu forced him to confront everything again. At that moment, thousands of miles away, Goku's friends were on planet Earth. Bulma had organized a meeting to discuss what would happen after Goku's return. They were nervous. They knew Goku would eventually finish his fight, and disaster would begin once more. Do you think we did the right thing? Gohan asked, looking at his companions with a mix of doubt and worry. He had been one of the most reluctant to betray Goku, but had ultimately been convinced it was necessary for everyone's safety.
Vegeta, who was leaning against a wall with his arms crossed, sighed. There's no turning back. We know Goku won't be the same when he comes out of there, and we'll have to face him. But we mustn't forget why we did it. His power was spiraling out of control. Beerus, watching the conversation from his seat, impatiently flicked his tail. See, all this drama bores me. If Goku becomes a threat, we destroy him, and that's it. It's simple. But it wasn't that simple for the rest of them. Goku had been their friend, their comrade in countless battles.
The betrayal weighed on their hearts, and although many of them did not openly admit it, they felt deep remorse. They knew that sooner or later they would have to settle accounts with him. Meanwhile, on the battlefield where Goku and Zamasu faced each other, the tension continued to mount. Goku opened his eyes, the silver aura of Ultra Instinct now completely visible. Zamasu, this ends here, he said with a firm voice. He knew Zamasu was immortal, but he also knew he couldn't let him continue causing havoc. Do you really think you can stop me? Zamasu asked with a mocking laugh. You are strong, Goku, but you have reached the limit of your power. You cannot defeat someone who is immortal. Goku didn't answer immediately. Instead, he concentrated on his movements, letting his body act on instinct. Every attack from Zamasu was dodged with millimeter precision. Every counterblow was executed with the grace of Ultra Instinct. But Zamasu did not stop. Every time Goku found an opening, Zamasu regenerated, his laughter echoing in the air. See how useless it is to resist, Zamasu shouted, launching a massive dark energy blast at Goku. Goku easily dodged the attack, but he knew the situation couldn't be prolonged. He needed a solution. He remembered what he'd learned in the hyperbolic time chamber. It wasn't just about getting stronger, but about being more efficient. He had to channel his power more precisely, concentrating everything into a single, devastating blow. As he prepared for his next move, he thought of his friends. He thought about what Zamasu had said about them, about how he had manipulated them. The pain of the betrayal was still present, but Goku knew he couldn't let it blind him. If he let hate consume him, Zamasu would win. This is the end, Zamasu, Goku muttered, channeling all his power into a single point. Zamasu, believing he had the advantage, lunged toward Goku, confident in his immortality. But at the last second, Goku unleashed an energy blast so powerful that even Zamasu could not instantly regenerate. No! This cannot be! Zamasu screamed as his body began to disintegrate. Goku, breathing heavily, watched Zamasu disappear. The battlefield fell silent, and although he was exhausted, he felt a sense of relief. He knew he still had a lot to do, especially with his friends. But for now, Zamasu had been defeated. Back on Earth, his friends continued their meeting. They all felt the weight of what was coming. They knew Goku would eventually confront them, and none of them were prepared for that. As the dust settled after Zamasu's disappearance, Goku stood in the middle of that desolate landscape, breathing heavily. Ultra Instinct, though powerful, exacted a considerable energy cost, and after facing Zamasu, Goku felt his body was on the verge of exhaustion. His muscles were tense. His thoughts intertwined between the victory and the betrayal that still burned in his heart. Goku looked up at the sky, observing the vast universe that seemed to be calm, at least for now. Although Zamasu had been defeated, something inside him didn't feel entirely at peace. He knew he had one last matter to resolve. Facing his friends, the betrayal that had led him to the hyperbolic time chamber was not something he could easily leave behind. However, as he planned his return to Earth, something in his mind stopped him. Zamasu's words echoed in his head. That arrogance and certainty that his manipulation had been the true cause of the betrayal. Had his friends really been manipulated? Or was there a grain of truth in their fears? That thought deeply disturbed him. On Earth, the situation had become tense at the meeting organized by Bulma. Although they had tried to discuss how to face Goku, tempers were increasingly heated. Vegeta had maintained his cold, distant posture, convinced that what they had done was the right thing. Although deep down, even he knew Goku wouldn't take what happened well. "We can't just stand here waiting for Goku to come and destroy us one by one," Gohan exclaimed, hitting the table in frustration. "We know what he's capable of. And now, if he really has perfected Ultra Instinct, we're in serious trouble." Barris yawned, evidently bored by the conversation. "Bah! I said it before. If Goku gets out of control, I erase him and the matter is solved. Besides, it's not that easy for Goku to lose his mind. He's always been a sentimental fool."
Whis, on the other hand, remained silent, observing everything with his sharp eyes. He knew Goku was unpredictable when he was emotionally affected. Betrayal was not something to be underestimated, especially since it had been planned and executed by those he trusted the most. "There is something we are not considering," Whis finally said, drawing everyone's attention. "It is not just a matter of power or strategy. The betrayal Goku has suffered has left a deep wound. If we fail to reason with him when he returns, it is very possible that we will be dealing with an unrecognizable Goku, someone who will have no qualms about destroying us." Bulma bit her lip nervously. "And what do you suggest we do? Wait for him to arrive and try to talk to him? What if he doesn't even want to listen to us?" Vegeta, who had been silent until that moment, spoke harshly. "We cannot rely on soft words. If Kakarot comes looking for revenge, we must be prepared to face him, regardless of the consequences." "What do you propose? Fight him? Risk the lives of everyone here?" "If necessary, yes," Vegeta replied without hesitation. "Goku has always been impulsive, but this is different. Now he is stronger than ever. If we are not prepared, it could be our end." The atmosphere became even gloomier at those words. No one wanted to admit it, but they knew that the possibility of having to face Goku was real, and the chances of emerging victorious were slim. At that moment, in the place where Zamasu had been defeated, Goku closed his eyes and took a deep breath. His mind was filled with doubts and questions, but there was one thing he knew for sure. He could no longer delay the moment. He had to return to Earth and confront what had happened. It was no longer just a matter of revenge, but of understanding why those he trusted the most had betrayed him. With a swift movement, Goku disappeared from the spot, heading directly toward planet Earth. His journey was almost instantaneous, but as he approached, the feeling of tension and conflict within him grew. He knew this would not be a simple confrontation. There were no clear enemies, only friends turned into traitors. Upon arriving, Goku appeared right in the center of the gathering. The atmosphere immediately froze. All eyes turned toward him, and the silence was so thick it could be cut with a knife. Vegeta, who was the first to move, stood up with an expression that mixed surprise and preparation for combat. "Goku," whispered Bulma, who seemed the most affected by his sudden appearance. Goku looked at everyone in silence, without saying a word. His eyes were filled with a mixture of emotions: pain, fury, disappointment. The Ultra Instinct aura still shined faintly around him, reminding everyone that he was no longer the same Goku they knew. "So here you are, gathered as if nothing happened, after everything you did," Goku finally said, his voice low but loaded with contained emotion. "After everything you did!" Gohan took a step forward, trying to calm the situation. "Dad, we didn't want to hurt you. Everything we did was to protect ourselves, to protect you. We couldn't control what was happening." "Protect me?" Goku let out a bitter laugh.
Locking me in the hyperbolic time chamber? Betraying me? That's protecting me? Vegeta intervened, with his arms crossed and his typical defiant attitude. We had no other choice, Kakarot. Your power was becoming a threat, even to yourself. We did it to prevent something worse from happening. Goku's fists clenched as he fought back the tears that threatened to well up. You had no right to make that decision for me. I trusted you. I trusted all of you. Beerus, seeing the rising tension, stood up from his seat with a bored expression. Well, enough of the sentimentality. If Goku wants to destroy, then let him. If he becomes uncontrollable, I'll simply erase him from existence, and we'll move on with our lives. Goku glared at him, but said nothing. He wasn't there to face Beerus, but those he once considered his family. This isn't just about what you did to me, Goku continued, looking at every one of his friends. It's about you breaking something that cannot be easily repaired. But I'm not here to destroy you. I just want to understand why. An awkward silence fell over the group. No one knew what to say. The truth was that although they had acted out of fear, many of them were not entirely sure if what they had done was right at all. I can't believe you locked me up. Goku's voice resonated with frustration. I always thought you were my friends, and this is what you do instead of helping me? Vegeta, sensing the tension in the air, tried to take the lead. Kakarot, we were only worried about you. We never wanted to hurt you. We just wanted to protect you and make sure you didn't lose control again. Protect me? Goku retorted, walking closer to him with an icy glare. If you were truly worried, you wouldn't have locked me up. You betrayed me. The atmosphere grew even heavier.
Gohan, trying to calm the waters, stepped forward. Dad, please, we can fix this. We just need to work together. Work together? Goku interrupted, his rage palpable. Do you think what you broke can be rebuilt? This isn't just a simple fight. It's a betrayal. And when one is betrayed, there is no turning back. Goku began to elevate his energy, his aura glowing with an intensity that made the ground vibrate. The pressure increased, and everyone felt the situation was becoming dangerous. Gohan grew nervous, seeking a way to intervene. Goku, you don't have to do this. We can find a solution. His voice trembled, aware of what was coming. There is no solution for a betrayal, Gohan. Goku responded coldly. You chose this path. With a swift and accurate movement, Goku launched an attack toward Gohan, who barely had time to react. The explosion of energy sent him flying to the ground, leaving him unconscious. The tension escalated, and Goku turned toward the rest, looking at them one by one. Who else wants to follow my path? He said, challenging his friends. Vegeta stepped in, his face contorted with rage. Kakarot, no! This is not the answer! Don't let your anger guide you! Anger? Goku whispered with a dark smile. It's not anger, Vegeta. It's justice. You chose this path. With a precise movement, he unleashed a series of attacks. Bulma and the others tried to intervene, but it was too late. One by one, they fell until only Vegeta remained in front of him. You won't stop me, Kakarot. I will always be stronger, he yelled, lunging toward him with all his might. Goku easily dodged his attack, using the speed of Ultra Instinct to anticipate every move. With a powerful blow, he left Vegeta lying on the ground, his aura slowly fading. You warned you, Vegeta. There is no turning back, Goku said, watching his friend fall. When the last of his friends was knocked out, Goku felt an emptiness inside him, but also a strange liberation. He had ended the betrayal and the uncertainty. Now he was ready to move forward. However, there was something else he needed to do. Find a way out of this world and leave behind everything that reminded him of his friends and their betrayal. At that instant, he recalled Whis' teachings. His mind focused on the idea that there were other universes, other places where he could start anew. But he knew he couldn't open a portal without Whis' help. "Whis!" Goku called, hoping his mentor was nearby. Fortunately, the angel appeared, flowing with his usual calmness.
What do you need, Goku?
"I need to get out of here," Goku replied, his voice full of determination. "I want to go to another universe where I don't have to face this pain." Whis nodded, understanding the gravity of the situation. "I understand your desire to escape, Goku, but you must be aware that the universes are complex places. If you choose to leave, it will be a journey from which you cannot return." "I know," Goku said, his gaze firm. "I don't want to go back. I can't stay here anymore." With a movement of his staff, Whis began to trace a symbol in the air. A dimensional door opened before them, revealing a starry cosmos that seemed full of possibilities. "It is ready. Just enter and proceed with your new path," Whis said, giving him a last chance to reconsider. Goku looked back, seeing his friends unconscious, feeling a mix of sadness and relief. There was no going back, and he knew that although his heart was heavy, this was the only way to find peace. "Goodbye," he murmured, and crossed the threshold of the portal, leaving behind a universe full of memories and betrayals. As he entered the new world, a feeling of calm enveloped him. He knew his journey would not be easy, but it was a new beginning, a future where he could truly be free. The betrayal had led him to this point, and now, with the weight of his decisions on his shoulders, he was ready to face whatever challenge lay ahead. Thus, Goku left behind the pain, the betrayal, and the suffering as he ventured into the unknown in search of his true destiny.